we're back, still on day 1, Monday. After I make my videos, I always re-watch them once, sometimes twice if they're short, because while I'm making them, I don't know what I'm doing. At least, hopefully, I don't know what I'm doing. And I have no idea what the effect is. So, my friend Henry in Budapest, who's a marketing guy, he said, he was advising me on where to take my future, and he said, look, you gotta be yourself and let others experience you as you are. That doesn't make any sense, so let me try and explain. We used the movie Galaxy Quest as this example, where Galaxy Quest is played, the actors are completely serious in the roles, but it's a hilarious movie. So being, in the role they're serious, but the effect is funny. So Henry said, I have to do my thing, and then people will tell me what the effect is. And one of the ways I determine this, or one of the ways I do it, is I make myself my own audience, and I see how am I coming off. So I watched my last video, and I'm proud of myself for digging in and starting to express myself. But I noticed so much anger and resentment. And this is something I am choosing to change. And it's tricky for anyone who's had bad things happen to them. There is a tendency for those bad things to breed resentment. It's a natural human reaction. Unfortunately, people react to resentment very badly. So if something bad happens to me, and I respond with resentment, more people will be, or other people will now be mad at me for that resentment, which breeds more resentment, because now I'm resenting the fact that people are resenting me because of this thing that happened to me. And it's a really vicious cycle. And it used to be a lot worse for me. I'm pretty good at handling it now, and I'll get into that in a minute. But it's a really vicious trap. And in the extreme, you have really terrible things, like what's called a resentment spiral is how you get, like, extremist, like the thing in Toronto, like the thing in Charlottesville, like, all of this is just resentment upon resentment without any compassion. And what I've learned is the only way to break the resentment spiral is through a higher power. I had to realize there's a larger purpose to all of this. So, like mercury poisoning in fish, okay? So if there's mercury in the food the fish eats, the first fish that eats it will have a little bit of mercury in it. It's probably okay. But the fish that eats the smaller fish will get a higher concentration of the mercury, and the bigger fish that eats the second fish will get an even higher concentration until there's a really big problem. So the same thing happens with resentment. Like, the things that happen to me are a result of the things that happen to my parents, which is a result of the thing that happened to their parents. So we receive resentment from generations back, and there's this constant nagging feeling in the back of my head, like, why me? Like, why have I been called to break the cycle? Because I have been called to break the cycle. That's why we're here with me making these videos and you watching them, is to break the cycle. And in in difficult times, it's easy to fall back on more resentment, like, why me? You know, because there's no glory in it. There's no money in it. There's very little gratitude for it. So I found the only way to break out of this is to go to a church, go to a synagogue, and remember that this is for the next generations. And this has happened to me because I'm strong enough to fix it. And I'm fixing it not for myself, but for God. And I often have to go to a church. And the bigger the church, the better. I like the feeling of being small. I love the Catholic churches for this because they really are designed to make you feel small but significant. A small, important part of a large story. And that's what keeps me going. And I would like to keep living my life that way. Good things happen when I'm living from a place of love. And that's the direction I want to take these videos in. But not too much love. Not hippie love. Grounded love. See ya.